And welcome to Chicago Report. I'm Tia Ewing. We have a lot to get to today, and most of it revolves around action happening over at City Hall. Yesterday's packed City Council meeting culminated, I should say, in dozens of newly passed ordinances, and we have culminated, of course, and we have the main ones that we've been watching for you. One of those measures was introduced by Silvana Tabarez, who represents Chicago's 23rd Ward in the aftermath of CPD officer John Bartholomew's death. Tabarez and other local leaders are calling for greater oversight of Cook County public safety programs, including electronic monitoring, criminal warrants. Bartholomew's alleged killer was on electronic monitoring at the time of the deadly shooting. Tabarez says failures in the system could be putting victims and first responders at risk.
Victims deserve an advocate. First responders deserve backup. And taxpayers deserve transparency. This hearing is not about blame. It's about collaborating to fix a broken system before the next tragedy strikes. Chicago residents have a right to know why so many individuals are walking freely in our neighborhoods.
Her resolution calls for a special hearing bringing Cook County officials to the table to address these concerns. Here to share what the data shows and what she hopes will come out of this hearing is Alderwoman Tabarez. Thank you so much for taking some time out for us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I know you are too. And I want to talk about everything that you've been working on, including this. I know you raised some concerns about active warrants and unserved orders of protection. What do the numbers actually tell you, and what do you see as the biggest problem in the current system?
Well, there are 72,000 outstanding warrants in the Cook County justice system, and half of them are criminal. And what we're seeing is that 7,500 of those outstanding warrants they correspond to domestic violence cases. And we saw an issue of that last week in Schaumburg, where the abuser murdered the victim, who he had an outstanding warrant. So these are people that are not being served. They are walking freely in our neighborhoods, committing more crimes. And the people that are encountering these individuals with outstanding warrants are our first responders, are our police officers, our firefighters. And we saw that in the past year, where we've had 4 first responders being killed by criminals with outstanding warrants. That needs to stop. Those are our Chicago first responders. And so we want to have this hearing because we want to ask the Cook County judge, the Cook County sheriff, the Cook County state's attorney, and the Cook County clerk, what needs to be done? How is our system working or not working so that we can prevent the next tragedy?
You brought up
what do we need to do to fix it?
You brought up some good points there. You mentioned the Cook County sheriff. You mentioned the judges, a lot of Cook County officials involved in all of this. Obviously, you are a councilwoman, right, for the city of Chicago. In terms of this, what jurisdiction or influence does city council actually have here? And why do you believe this is something the city should weigh in on?
Well, 6 months ago, I passed a resolution in November to form the city and Cook County, the Chicago and Cook County Violence Against Women Task Force. We've held monthly meetings, we've had working groups, and all of these are public. And I've done it in collaboration with Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller, which I thank for her leadership on the county level. And we've been having these hearings, we've been inviting advocates, we've been inviting the police, Department of Family and Support Services. It's a collaboration, and through that collaboration, we have seen that domestic murders are down 62%. We need to continue that collaboration with the county on warrants and justice accountability in the justice system. So we can really see how true collaboration really can work when you have city, county, and state leaders working together. And I want to bring that same teamwork with this issue on warrants.
I'm curious, and I want to get your opinion on this, because we've also heard in some of these cases where the Safety Act has come into the conversation. How do you see all of that working, combining what you're saying, with this electronic monitoring and warrant enforcement, along with some of the issues that people feel like are out there in terms of the Safety Act?
Well, this hearing is not about the Safety Act. and I want to be very clear about that. That is a conversation for our state legislators in Springfield. You know, I'm inviting these county leaders so that we can discuss policies and programs specific to Cook County. So I want to be clear that this is not a hearing about the Safety Act. That is for legislators, for our state reps, our state senators down in Springfield to fix. This is more specific to Cook County and the financial and the operational impacts on the city than we have seen with the first responders who have been killed in the line of duty by people with outstanding warrants. You know, the goal is really to discuss a unified approach to public safety and protecting victims. That is the priority here.
My last question for you, what do you ultimately see coming out of this? Is there an end goal in terms of something that you feel like must be changed?
Well, we have very strong support with my colleagues. We have 26 aldermen who have signed on to this ordinance. And my hope is that we really have a conversation on what we need to fix in the justice system. I mean, there are the numbers that are telling us is that there is a big issue. And I want to have those conversations with our Cook County leaders in a public setting, because the Cook County justice system, this is very important to note, the Cook County justice system is not subject to FOIA. So residents don't have transparency when it comes to warrants, when it comes to orders of protection, when it comes to outstanding warrants, orders of protection, and the electronic monitoring program. There's no transparency. And when you don't have that transparency, it makes more people distrust the justice system.
Yeah.
And so residents deserve answers.
Yeah,
and that is why we need to have this hearing.
You're right. And it brings up a lot of questions that we don't officially have the answers to based on what you said there. Alderwoman Silvana Tabares, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on Chicago Report.
Thank you, Tia.
All right. Well, shifting gears to two major updates.